3 rounds, 3 countries, and 3 drivers. It all can be decided here tonight in the sands of Saudi Arabia. Ahlan and welcome along to Jeddah for round 22 of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship and the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We are here in the 14th largest country on Earth, one of which does not have a natural river, thus making it the largest country in the world without a natural river. Well, that is due to the country's landscape itself, as 95% of the country is considered either a desert or a sub-mini desert. Well, today, however, the drivers will welcome the sand as it hopes the first ever Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Let's talk about the circuit then. The semi-permanent Jeddah Street Circuit runs along the coast of the Jeddah city. There are 27 corners, 16 to the left and 11 to the right, which makes up the 6.2 kilometer, 3.9 mile circuit. There are 3 DRS zones, one on the run into turns 1, 13, and 27, which brings up the average lap speed to 252 kilometers per hour, or 157, making it the quickest street circuit in history. Just like a week ago, Pirelli have once again brought the C4, C3, and C2 compounds of tire, with the C4 being the red-wooled compound softs, obviously, the C3 being the yellow-wooled mediums, and the C2 being the white-wooled hards. Of course, the intermediates and full wets are also available to the conditions if they do call for them. Right now, it doesn't. It looks nice and dry here in Jeddah, and we can't wait for qualifying to go on. The time is running out, and for our 3 drivers and 2 teams, it's go time, because it all can be decided tonight. Sweller's team can become the Tier 2 champion, second in a row for Alfa Romeo. And speaking of Alfa Romeo, they can clinch the Constructors' Championship here as well. Sweller's team leads Wraith by 31 points, and, well, that gap could definitely mean we have a lot on the play tonight and the following couple of races. If it's not one tonight, Wraith's going to have a little bit of a comeback to charge through. Rod Sherbel is on the cut line, 52 points. There's only 52 points available at the end of this race. He needs to not lose any ground to the Alfa Romeo. Tola sits 4th with Heatwave in 5th. Mozzie sits 6th with Low Limit in the McLaren in 7th. Veyron sits 8th, Tweaking 9th, and Roscoe rounds out the top 10 with Calzoner not too far behind in the wing in 11th position. The Constructors' Championship, Alfa Romeo leads Red Bull by 90 points. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Aston Martin sits 3rd with 143 points back. They're out of championship contention for the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari sit 4th with Alpha Tauri in 5th. McLaren 6th. Mercedes sits 7th, 54 points behind McLaren. And you have Haas in 8th with Alpine not too close behind, and 6 points adrift between Haas and Alpine, and Williams not too far away as well, 6 between them and Alpine. But like I said, the Constructors' Championship had a little bit of a twist compared to what you saw a week ago. That's because the point sheet didn't really work out as well to our favors, and now you have completely new points, basically. Throw whatever you had out the window of last week, just push it away. Just get rid of that memory, because it doesn't exist anymore. That never happened. It's basically just Alfa Romeo and Red Bull, now the 90 points gap. But now it's going to be down to those 2 teams for these final 3 races. It can be clinched tonight, like I said. Now I'm Headcatcher, joined alongside by Redeemer. And now this is the fastest ever street circuit in Formula 1. And, well, speeds that rival the circuits like Monza or Spa-Francorchamps. And it also seems like the word fastest and street circuit doesn't really come together. Well, how do you think these drivers will tackle this circuit for the inaugural Saudi Arabian Grand Prix? The first driver who's done so far in qualifying, being Zach the Beast in the Williams, he's gone a 28-0.
I mean, I did this race last night as well. It was Tier 3 and realistic in F2. This track kind of reminds me of a faster type Monaco, just with the walls in the second sector especially, and the first sector. It really pushes. Oh, Heatwave is just crashed. It broke his wing entirely at the start of sector 3. But yeah, it just kind of reminds me a lot like Monaco. It's just a faster circuit with a lot of more turns, and they're really relying and pushing on the cars. Wraith goes for sector 2.
Yeah, speaking of, he has a new teammate, a new face in that Red Bull alongside him. CSR Ferrari, a new driver to Tier 2. Same with Zach the Beast in the Williams. Those 2 will have a welcome home party, I guess you could technically say, in the streets of Jeddah. Wraith backs off his lap, so he will go again. But now you have to see, once again, who plays out this. Once again, Ryan Hurricane.
5th.
To the line he goes.
Froggy starting lap, see what Wraith does. Must be he backed out of his lap because he's going for another one now.
That indeed he has. Sweller's team's going to come out of the final corner. He'll start his flying lap this time. Remember, the Alfa Romeo can clinch the championship for him and his team. Both championships can be clinched tonight, but it could be difficult for the Alfa Romeo Sweller's team because he has to outscore Wraith by 22 points. And that will mean he will need to win the race, and Wraith will need to get...
And validate. A double right-hander is going to catch a lot of drivers out tonight.
Through the sector 1 split, he'll go in a couple seconds' time. Sweller's steam a little bit off the track, but it keeps it valid. Through the DRS of turn 13 he goes. How's the first sector looking? 31-2. So far, everyone's kind of gone a mixed bag. Mediums from Ryan Hurricane, Gerbil, and I am tweaking along with mediums have been on for Heatwave. Obviously, remember he put it in the barriers not too long ago. Mozzie also on the medium compounded tire. His teammate has gone the alternate strategy with on the soft compounded C4 tire, with Roscoe following suit with toneless. Gruggy Regano rates at a time 32.9, but he had a little bit of an off. Remember trying to back off his lap that first time. So now he invalidated again. Will he go for a third lap? Probably unlikely, but Sweller's team will go for to finish his lap, though. Going down into turn 27 this time he goes, the championship leader. It could very well be the final time he has to worry about the championship for constructors and for drivers. What does this lap hold for him? The Alfa Romeo, he goes up to 6th right now, 28.9.
What if that's just a banker and he's got something else in the tank? As I go on board with Gruggy, a little bit through the double right-hander through turn number 11 into 10. Oop, no, that's way off. That's 11 and 12, sorry. I think it's way down into turn 13. He's going to run a little bit wide on entry. And exit, be careful not to hit the wall on the right-hand side. Through 14. Into 15. Break. Hug that wall on the right. Through 16, nice and flat. Get up there to the wall. Alright, we go through this second sector. Really tough on the cars and the morale of these shorts. It's going to be a lot of left, right, and flat. He's going to barely miss the wall there. Through the sector 2 split, it's not looking very good. He's going to slow way down, almost hit the wall on the left-hand side. Coming through now into turn 25, 26, and 27. Stay way to the right-hand side. His gas light is blinking. He's going to hit 27. In 4th gear, be careful not to hit the wall on the exit. Going to hit the gas again. He's going to come across the line, and he's going to set a 30.7.
One thing to look out for, by the way, is a bit of an issue. Well, luckily for him, he's not too far away from the pit lane. But Wraith, he's had a lot of issues as of late. It happened during Realistic and has happened at the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix all the way down to now. He's really had a little bit of a problem with his pedals, so this could possibly play crucial for this championship lead. It's to the point where, well, he thinks he has it fixed, but he had to sacrifice a bit of practice time. That could very much hurt the Red Bull, but he'll go on a flying lap once again, trying to better the one he has already on the board.
Yeah, Mozzie coming across the line. He's going to go up to P7 behind his teammate on the medium, so Alfa right now is just kind of pacing themselves, you know, just getting used to the track, as most of these other drivers are. And how the car feels and the setup.
That'll be crucial, as the forecast, like it should, says dry throughout the weekend, qualifying and race itself. So a little nod to how did it rain? Oh,
wow!
Yeah, we talked. All right, I talked to Heatwave a little prior. He had a little bit of an issue trying to get to grips with this circuit, and right now it's showing he's going to have to try his hardest to really get acclimated before the race time. But right now, it's only qualifying, and it looks like he kept it out of the barriers this time, so he'll have another chance to go on these mediums. Remember, he had a spin on them on his last time. He tried to go for a flying lap. That time he put in the barriers. This time he stays out of it.
Yeah, Thomas is on a lap right now, coming through 10, 11, 12. Hits the DRS going into 13. He got a 30.311 on the first sector. Into 13. Let's see how we does to the second sector. Wow, that was almost a... Go there.
Well, tweaking goes purple in the second sector. The Ferrari, well, his teammate not too far behind him, right? He sits P3 at the moment. It's about 6/10 off of provisional pole position. That being Zach DeVries in the Williams, who, by the way, is out on a flying lap. And now CSR Ferrari. He goes ahead by about 2/10.5. But what can the Ferrari of tweaking do? Across and now through the final corner to the line will go the Ferrari. His teammate not too far behind him. The first of the two Ferraris going to the line. Tweaking goes up to provisional pole by about 3/10 at 27.4. What can his teammate Toneless Death do? Out of the final corner he goes. He'll activate the DRS. To the line he goes. Right now he has a set lap. He's been in P11. Can he go up and try to match his teammate? He goes up to 7th. By the way, Gerbil went up to 4th. I missed that.
Oh, that was on his medium lap, I believe. Yeah, that was his medium lap.
There you go. Explain a lot.
So there's a 1% chance of rain through the race.
1%. Do you know how little of a chance a 1% chance is?
It's like an eighth. No.
For a statistic to be statistically significant, you need to have 5%. That's 5 times less than that.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's just say there won't be any rain in the race. Then we'll go with that. So you don't need your umbrellas, folks.
So our team will start his flying lap. You may need a little bit of binoculars or maybe a little bit of eye guards if, well, a little bit of sand gets kicked up somewhere, but thankfully it's not on that circuit anywhere near it. We're actually along the coast, a little bit more of a port next to the circuit there. On a flying lap, Roscoe in the Alpha Tauri. He'll go into turn 1 this time, following through. I believe ahead of him was, well, once again, the Alfa Romeo. Swellerstein behind him is going to be both Ferraris. They'll most likely go into the pit lane this time. As, well, some drivers are on a lap, some are not. But it's 6 minutes to go. About half, actually, I'm sorry, 2/3 way of the done from the session. It's about time to get these laps going.
With Zach, sorry for the interruption. He's actually almost 2 seconds up on his lap through the first split. As we come through the second step to see how far up he is. He's up 19 hundredths of a second up. We're going to come through turn 25, 26, 27 now. Let's see if he can gain any time. Going into turn 27.
Him and CSR Ferrari. Due to the tier, Zach actually the season 5 Tier 5 champion a couple seasons ago, but to the line he'll go on the Williams. He improves by a 10th.
Polish team has invalidated. He's going to come into the pits. We're on a flying lap. He's 6/10 up on his time with a purple sector 1.
I've been given a little bit of insight. Those last 2 sectors, 2 and 3, were actually without forced feedback from Zach the Beast.
Ooh. Props to you, sir. Oh, right, they're just going to clip the ball. That's not something you should do, sir. Who was that? Was Roscoe jumping up to P7?
Yes, it is. Good lap from the Alpha Tauri. Splits, well, I could say the Ferrari-powered cars. Ferrari-powered.
All right, Heatwave, one more chance at redemption, buddy. You got this.
You know, it's been a while since we've said this, but guess what tire he's on?
The mediums. Yeah, you're right. We haven't said that for a while. This is going to be his third push lap on these tires, I believe.
Yes, because he had 2 spins prior. He's just trying to get acclimated to the circuit once again. This time, we'll see if he can do it. About 4 minutes, 10 seconds left in the session. Drivers will now have to start getting out of the pit lane. And try to... on the knife's edge, the Alpha Tauri.
30.9 through the first split. Into turn 13. It's nice stepping right next to that wall of the exit of 13 through 14. 15 into 16. As long as sweeping left hand into 17, barely hits the wall. Come through 18 is, yeah, a bunch of corners. He's purple too.
It looks like it's a very good lap so far. Remember, he's the, well, the latest one to go on these medium compounded tires. Everyone else did it at the beginning of the session. It looks like with the amount of time left, he may not have enough time to go out for another run on a softs. He's trying to punch this ticket on the mediums and try to do the reverse strategy, but around the final corner he'll go. Finally, he'll get set a lap on the board. Is it one to his liking? We'll find out. Heatwave on the medium compounded tire. Where does this put him? Up to 4th. What a lap.
Yeah, it's definitely a lap from Heatwave, especially coming through turn 6, I do believe, and just almost losing the rear end of the car.
Groggy Oregano, he'll go on a flying lap now. There'll be an Alpha Tauri. I'm sorry, should be Mazzi, the Alfa Romeo. He'll go across the line in a few seconds' time to start his flying lap.
Thomas is just getting out of the way of the Red Bulls. It's actually Ferrari. His teammate is on a flying lap at the moment.
Yes, he is. He's looking quick in the Red Bull. The last time a Red Bull that wasn't BRL Wraith got pole position, I believe it was Killer F1. About half a season ago. God, it's been already 22 races, 22 rounds. The season has definitely come and went. But let's see if CSR Ferrari's season could kick off with a bang. It's his first time in the Red Bull in the Breakout Racing League. What can he go? To the line he goes. And wow, 67 milliseconds separates him from tweaking. That may be his qualifying done if he can get. He will not have enough time to get back to the pit lane. And he invalidates. That will be his session done and dusted. What can Groggy Oregano and the Alpine do? He sits P11 at the moment. To the line he will go. Can he go and improve his time? 3.2 seconds off a provisional pole by tweaking. He does improve, but not his position. The Alpha Tauri, that I believe is going to be Roscoe behind him. No, it's not. It's going to be Heatwave. He'll go into the pit lane. And, well, that pretty much is going to be his section done as well. Roscoe is going through into the final corners in a couple seconds of time. Ryan Hurricane, he's invalidated. His lap is going to be done and dusted. His teammate in the Williams, Zach the Beast, will start his flying lap. Less than a minute to go in the session. Behind him is going to be, I believe, not Sweller's team, and be Mazzi, who has no front wing. We've missed that.
Yeah, Gerbil is going to be one of the final people across the line to set a lap with 35 seconds left to go in the session. Sweller's team coming out of the final corner, yep.
The championship leader. Where does this put him in the softs? He goes up to P5 ahead of Gerbil, and that's crucial.
Next one coming across the line is going to be followed by Tweaking and then Thomas.
Ryan Hurricane will start his flying lap. Who have enough time? But the time is about to be running out for the rest of the drivers. Heatwave and Mazzi, they're done in the pit lane. What can Wraith do? He will make it the line. He'll get another lap if he wants it. He'll go provisional pole at the moment. A 27-1. Ferrari comes in the pit. And Tweaking goes even faster. Now a 27-0 behind him. That was, I believe, going to be who Toneless Death finishes across the line. He goes. Purple Sector 2, provisionally from Zach the Beast. Behind, and the Alpine, I believe, is going to be Groggy. Does he improve his time? I do not think so. Where does this go? Like CSR Ferrari. It's already started off with a bang in the top 4, but where can he go? The champion from a couple seasons ago in Tier 5. He goes up to 3rd, and his qualifying's done there. Can Wraith dethrone the Ferrari? It may be a tall order because he's kind of slowing off, I think, a little bit. But Roscoe, he's in 10th right now. Going up to the line, he goes in the Alpha Tauri. What can he put his Alpha Tauri on the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix? He goes up to 5th ahead of his teammate, Botch Gerbil. He needs a good qualifying. This could be a really crucial race for the championship. He goes up to 4th. And that may be done. While Sweller's team, he's invalidated, and he's out of qualifying as well. Ryan Hurricane still has a chance. Around the final corner in the Williams he goes, and he looks like he may be backed off of it. Yes, he has.
Yeah, so I think that's qualifying over.
I think you are correct. His Wraith is done, so is Tweaking. I am Tweaking, grabs pole position for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here in Tier 2 with Wraith. He needs a good qualifying. He got the good qualifying. He's on the front row of the grid with a couple of newbies. Zach the Beast in 3rd, Botch Gerbil, a championship rival in 4th, and the other newbie. Another new one to the tier, CSR Ferrari in 5th with both Alpha Towers. Roscoe ahead of Heatwave, Toneless Death. Sweller's team starts from 9th. Ryan Hurricane 10th. Mazzi, Groggy. That's their classification. We're looking forward to this race.
You know, honestly, Heatwave on mediums after 3 laps and a couple of spins, props.
We'll start in the top 10 on those mediums, but how worn will they be?
I don't know, I took mine last night. I boxed lap 9, so I took mine 17 laps, I believe. But that was last
Well, we'll see.
It's going to be a little bit different.
That's true, because he had a couple spins and a couple qualifying runs on the medium tire. But the rest will start in the top 10, apart from Ryan Hurricane. Ryan Hurricane also will be on the mediums as well, like you just said. But everyone else on the C4 soft compounded tire, but it's going to be led by this man, tweaking in the Ferrari. Will go from pole position on the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with Wraith alongside him in the first row. Zach the Beast, new to Tier 2 Xbox tier. He'll start from third. Bosch Turbo alongside him, the championship rival. He'll be, I guess, welcome to the tier moment, probably in turn 1. CSR Ferrari in fifth, another new one to the tier, with Roscoe alongside him in sixth. With Heatwave, Toneless Death, Sweller's Steam, and Ryan Hurricane, your top 10. Mozzie and Groggy will have free choice of tire as they start outside the top 10 for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Oh, excuse me. We want to start predictions. Okay, who's hit A?
What?
Someone hit A already.
Interesting. No, I think it's actually before even loading in. I don't think all the players have gone in. This happened, I believe, in realistic performance.
This just starts in 3 seconds.
Yeah, you'll see it in a second. It'll go up again. Okay, wait, you're not wrong. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry for doubting you. Formation lap will start now. And Mozzie and Groggy. Mozzie and Groggy both with the softs, so only 2 drivers will not go on that C4 compounded tire for the start of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. But tweaking ahead of Wraith, let's take a look at the formation lap indeed. 25 laps in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with the C4s, C3s, and C2 composite tire, like we've already said. Really say the C4 can go about 15 laps, the C3 can go about 20, the C2 can go about 25 to 30, but we have some outliers. We've had a couple of drivers push the limits on these tires, one of them being in Tier 4. That being Dominant Swear, it goes about 22 on the soft compounded tire. It's possible, but we try to have someone have that daring strategy. The championship, 3 are in the drivers, 2 in the constructors. Sweller can win the championship right here, this round, and this race tonight. If he outscores both Bosch Gerbil by more than a point, basically he's out of the championship, or Wraith by 22, he'll win the championship tonight for his Alfa Romeo. And that'll make it second in a row, following the footsteps from BRL Ritzy a season prior. But Alfa Romeo itself can actually win the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull is sit outside of that window in which they need to keep the championship alive by 2 points. So if Alfa Romeo can keep Red Bull from scoring 2 more points than them, they'll lock the championship right here in Jeddah. But the rest of the drivers is all to play for. Who gets where? The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix is up next, and it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, I think in the Tier 4, if I remember, Square said he was at 92% on those softs.
Yeah.
At the end of the race.
Maybe it's not ideal, but, I mean, it's possible.
I was just surprised he never got punctured. That's what I was mainly impressed with.
I do agree. Where's Chunky Snags when we need you? Come back, Chunky.
Chunky, please.
We need your tire savings. Please, come back. We miss you.
Also, I think, is Ryan a reserve?
Technically, yes.
Okay, because I was going to say, I think Chunky's car has been taken by one of those guys.
Well, it's time to see who exactly can set their foot right for the final 3 rounds of the season, and which of the top 3 in the championship will be the first to do so. To the championship, to the 2 rounds after this one. But now we have the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go, and a good start off the line from Tweaking. He's going to get well clear ahead of the Red Bull into turn 1, but Wraith is going to send it and look down the inside. It's not going to be close enough, so it's going to be Tweaking ahead of Wraith, who's looking the outside. Zach the Beast and Bosch Gerbil, I said there's going to be a welcome to the tier moment. It kind of did happen. They're still side by side. Gerbil gets ahead of Zach the Beast, CSR Ferrari in 5th. He's now battling with Roscoe down into turn 4, and around the outside it's going to be the Red Bull, CSR Ferrari with Roscoe in 6th, with Sweller's Team in 7th, Toneless Death in 8th, and the 2 medium runners swallowed up a bit, 9th and 10th for Heatwave and Hurricane, and Groggy and Mozzie round out the top 12. It's been kind of an eager start from some of these guys. but there's still a long way to go. 24 laps after this.
26.
You're wrong.
I'm always wrong. It's 25. What number? You can't number. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna just continue on this.
Well, Tweaking's already gotten out to about an 8/10 improvement on Wraith, and if he gets out of the 1 second gap he will have and broken out of that DRS range, the drag reduction system, which will get within that 1 second of the car in front, that opens that rear end flap, that will gain you a little bit of straight line speed and keep you closer to the car in front. But he closed in a bit through that middle sector. Bosch Turbo not too far ahead behind him, I should rather say. Zach DeVries, head of CSR Ferrari. It's kind of all drivers so far within this DRS train, I should rather say. But we have already gotten one lap done. Going through the turn 27 corner we have this time. It's going to be a great one. It's already started off well. Not very many mistakes from these drivers. They're waiting to get to the end of this race.
Yeah, it's a long race. You know, these guys just don't want to make any necessary moves. As Roscoe might look for a move on the outside of turn 1. On the system for Red Bull, he's actually going to get the move. He's going to make it stick. He's just going to push him out a little wide on the exit of 2. He's going to get the move done before turn 3. Nicely done.
Nicely done indeed, but with that move being done, now he's broken out of that DRS and behind of it from Zach DeBeast. But CSR Ferrari's not done yet. He kind of looked a little bit twice, but he couldn't make that move stick. Not enough space to get past the AlphaTauri there. But once again, Wraith's now out of that DRS range of Tweaking. Tweaking's absolutely sitting and pushing the envelope he can right now. Mozzie and Groggy, they're battling for 11th.
Yeah, those guys are just a little bit outside. It's 32.2 behind Ryan. As we had the predicted pit stop strategy powered by AWS, on my screen right down on board Roscoe. He's not really gaining on back ahead. He's using his ERS to try to close the gap, but he's not really closing that quickly as he thought.
As it stands right now, the championship will be pushed away and towards next week, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in Tier 2. There's still a long way to go. Who cares about the championship? It's lap 2. Tweaking's going to be ahead of Wraith. He's going to be once again.
As well.
Yes, he is. He's now broken out of that from CSR Ferrari. He's not too far away from Roscoe. The DRS will be enabled this time by. They will not be able to use it until turn 13. Who makes the move first? The DRS train has now been activated.
Let's see what these boys got. Let's go.
Because now the moves, they start kicking off. Who's going to be the sitting duck? Who's going to be the driver that's going to pull everyone through? Crucially, that ERS button, that ERS deployment you have, the amount you have is going to dictate how much you can close in on the car in front. You can kind of deploy as much as you really want. Harvesting is not as difficult here, but even if you deploy all you want a lap ago, you still have to harvest it. And you'll be on the back foot. DRS will be activated. Wraith has it. So does everyone behind him except for Roscoe. And then he'll be a sitting duck for CSR Ferrari, but it may not be close enough this time down into turn 13.
Yeah, I was riding on board with Roscoe. He went a little bit wide on the exit of 3, so he's going to be careful. His tires might be a little bit dying a little bit here.
Well, the pit stop strategy predicts the softs kind of go around to at least lap 9, lap 10 or so. So we have a little bit before we can talk about those mediums. Speaking of the mediums, how much is Heat Waves that suffers? Because remember, he's done 3 qualifying laps on them, and 2 of those laps resulted in a spin. He has a little bit more wear than Ryan Hurricane behind him. Both of them started in the top 10. They both had to start on those medium compounded tire in which they qualified on. So they may have a little bit more wear than, they really would have hoped. But Wraith is going to be close enough to Tweaking this time. He's going to have the battery using. He's going to have the DRS. He's going to have the slipstream. Will he be close enough to one this time? He's looking on the Ferrari. Gerbils has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Gerbils closing in a bit on Wraith, but they're all a little bit too far back, except for CSR Ferrari. He's going to make the move, and Roscoe down to the turn 1. Late braking for the Red Bull, but the AlphaTauri are on the outside, and the 2 are still wheel-to-wheel like it was a couple of laps ago. The Red Bull will get ahead of the AlphaTauri once again, finally completing that move.
Sweller and Heatwave going at, through turn 4.
Oh!
Wave's gonna get a little,
snap.
Too close for comfort.
The fact that he saved that car was impressive. Heatwave once again on the knife's edge and trying to go as fast as he possibly can without losing the car.
Back to Sweller though. Oh. It's looking around the outside, turn 13. He's just going to lose that position because there's the grip on the bottom end of that corner.
You can actually take that wider line, kind of like what you can do in Zandvoort, a little bit more momentum if you use that top line, as it's kind of almost banked a little bit. But Ryan Hurricane trying to close in a little bit more. Not close enough this time. Swallow Steam just kind of being I would say a certified roadblock, but the track with itself is kind of doing that.
Yeah, that's why I said this track is like Monaco, just wicked fast. Whoa, what happened?
Swallow Steam actually went a little bit wide. That enticed Ryan Hurricane to get past him. Speaking of getting past, Heat Wave on Toneless. The AlphaTauri up to 7th. Yellow flag, that being Groggy Regano. He's around. Kind of an Austin Powers situation going on here. Gerbil and Wraith, they swap around. Almost looked for the move on the Ferrari of IM Tweaking. Almost contact between the two. Zach the Beastman now looking into this move, enticing for the Williams, but these two in front of him. Wraith stays ahead of Gerbil. Gerbil looks for the move into 4. Just can't be close enough that time, and Gerbil will be, once again, in 3rd position, but they've all lost a little bit of time to Tweaking.
Swallow's going to get past Toneless, so Toneless dropping back.
Speaking of dropping back, CSR Ferrari now 2.3 seconds to Zach the Beast in 4th position. And Sweller's team, 3-second time penalty applied at the end of his race time. That will be crucial. The amount of penalties you grab, it's not necessarily as easy as you would think to grab a penalty, but it can still stint you a lot.
As these curbs, some of them are painted on, so drivers are using them, and some of them are actually curbs. And you can still use those curbs, but you just have to be careful, like every other circuit, not to touch them too much and spin.
Especially this one closing up. This apex curb right here, which on board with Bart Sherble, that being a little bit elevated. Mozzie and Toneless, they swap around. Mozzie now in the top 10. Toneless is kind of falling back a lot. Maybe he's having a little bit of an issue so far. But that can unsettle the car, like I was talking about that curb, and could possibly lead you into a spin. A little bit deep into the corner. Goes Wraith, had to kind of check up and save the car a bit. Bart Sherble may be enticing. Ryan Hurricane, Heatwave, Mozzie, and Sweller, they're all battering. But down the main straightaway we go. Bart Sherble tried it a lap ago. Will he try it again? Wraith goes a little bit defensive. He's just too far back.
Oh! Sherble got really close to the back of Wraith. This Ross was going to get past Ferrari again. It's even going to get past Ryan Hurricane.
CSR Ferrari went off the track. Sweller, Steve, and Mozzie, they go at it. Into turn 1 they go. The Alfa Romeos, they swap around. Sweller just trying to hold on. Mozzie just pressurizing the championship leader right now. It's all kicking off. There's too many battles to keep track of all of at once.
I'm keeping my eye on this battle ahead because Wraith is outside of the DRS range of Tweaky, but he has DRS going into 13. Turbo wasn't able to do anything about it.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest here. That DRS may be one of the most pointless DRS zones.
Yeah, it's going to be the shortest DRS zone of the season, of the calendar. Well, Turbo's closing in on Wraith through the corners.
He won't need a DRS zone.
Wow, yeah, he doesn't need one.
He'll be at it, though.
Firing back. Oh, careful, boys. Well, there it is.
Oh, contact. And Gerbil has the DRS. Wraith does not. Gerbil gets ahead of Wraith. He's now up to 2nd. He can no fight after, but look at this. Zach the Beast is going to have a little bit of an incisive move. He stays behind, but look at this. The DRS zone. Oh, no. Wraith's around and into the barriers and out of the race.
Uh-oh.
This is exactly what Sweller's team needs. Safety cars have been deployed. Roscoe, CSR Ferrari's in. Heatwave's going to stay out. Ryan Hurricane will as well. Mozzie, Sweller's team, both Alfa Romeos, they stay out. Toneless Death comes in. But that's exactly what Wraith needs. Or not Wraith, I'm sorry, Sweller's team. That's exact opposite of what Wraith needs.
Toneless is actually getting a wing change.
That would explain why he's been falling back a bit, as I kind of commented on not too many laps ago. He was, remember, in the top 5 at one point, and now following outside the top 10, but now with Wraith retiring, goes up into 10th. Garky Regano also pits. See if he has just a wing change, just a tire change, we'll see from the Alpine.
You know, I'm actually
going to
speak from experience. On the corner that Tweaking is going through right now, on exit, I love tap the wall there like 4 different times in qualifying. Never got wing damage. I did it during the race once. I asked Jeff, I said, vehicle condition. He goes, mind that front wing? I'm like, are you serious? This game is so indecisive with when it gives you wing damage and when it doesn't.
That's something to always look out for. That wing, ever so delicate, especially with the reduced wing, I guess, complexities of a couple of seasons ago. It's even more crucial now, especially with the floor and barge bolt reduction of the 2021 season. But what does tweaking Gerbil Zach the Beast do? Remember, the medium compounded tire, they could theoretically make it from here. Is anyone trying to go on them?
Because they're theoretically doing laps under the safety car. Possibly
There
3.
we go. The top 3 are in. Does Heatwave go in?
Yep.
He does. He will have to go onto the hards or the softs. The softs can make it.
Mozzie gonna come in, and Sweller's gonna slow down so he can get a nice gap between him and his teammate at the same time.
So Ryan Hurricane and the Williams will be the only one to stay out. Tweaking ahead of Gerbil, ahead of Zach the Beast, then ahead of Heatwave.
Oh, hang on,
He does go onto the softs.
Could Heatwave
Roscoe jumps him.
theoretically pull a square from last night?
Well, he's going to have to. That's the only thing he really can do, because he either have to go onto the hards. I had a little bit of a stutter there. Or the softs, the C2 or the C4. To meet that compound requirement, you have to lose at least 2 of the 3 compounds. And he already used the C3 medium compounded tire. He can't use on them again at the end of the race. So he had to go with the softs or the hards. He chose the softs. He thinks he can stretch them out, and that will be crucial if he can.
Actually, no. There's only going to be this lap of safety car.
Maybe. But it depends on when Groggy Oregano meets the back of the queue, because I think we may have to say it one more time.
So if we do stay out one more time, he would actually box again for the mediums to go to the end.
He can. I think that's what he's banking on. Because we've seen from the past, Heatwave's not been too adamant on his tire saving skills. So he may have to try and, go back to the pit lane and use a set of mediums to the end of the Grand Prix, because once again, he does satisfy that rule. He did 1 lap on those softs, meaning he does complete the 2 out of the 3 tire compound rule. So he can do that. Now, he will lose the spot to Mozzie, Sweller, and Toneless, but he will theoretically stay ahead of Groggy in 10th. We'll find out. Same with Ryan Hurricane, because especially the other medium drivers, kind of differing strategies with the medium runners here that started on that medium compounded tire. Ryan Hurricane, he stayed out because he thinks, well, I mean, it's not really worth going on to the soft compounded tire or the hard compounded tire. Ryan Hurricane does. Heatwave stays out. So he'll try to save his tires. So he'll have to go on to, once again, the softs or the hards. That looks like the softs. Yes, it is. So now we'll stay out for 1 more lap. We'll wait for Groggy Oregano and Ryan Hurricane to catch the back of this queue in the safety car. But we've completed 8 laps. We're on lap 9 of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix for round 22 out of the 24 race calendar. We have I Am Tweaking leading Gerbil, leading Zach the Beast, leading Roscoe and CSR Ferrari, your top 5. Heatwave in 6th with both Alfa Romeos. Mozzie had a Sweller with Toneless in 9th, with Ryan Hurricane round out the top 10, and Groggy Oregano rounds out our runners. We have lost mural rate so far in this race. There's still a long way to go. Fastest lap of the race so far goes to Bosch Gerbil in the Aston Martin at 30.8. We'll be looking for that move, because right now, as it stands, the championship will actually be moved on next week, not only for the battle between Sweller Steam and Wraith, but the battle between Sweller Steam and Gerbil. Now, looking at the points as they run, Sweller will grab 4 points. Wraith will not grab any, so that gap between those two will now be at 35 with 2 rounds to go. That's definitely doable. That's about a race and a half back for the gap between Sweller Steam and Gerbil. Gerbil grabs 18, plus that one fastest lap, that 1 point for getting in the top 10, and that fastest lap, 19, and that 4 for Sweller Steam. That means 15 points will be applied, and the gap between those two will go down to, I believe, 37 points.
Also,
and
can I just throw a fun fact out there real quick?
Yeah.
I believe this was the first safety car in like 4 races at this circuit.
Well, it didn't happen in Formula 2, realistic, and, Tier 3 and Tier 4, so yes, you would be correct.
So that's just amazing. It took 4 races to have a safety car at this circuit. Wraith, I applaud you, but I feel sorry for you.
Tweaking Now gets
He's
to play
gone.
when he wants to go, and he's gone now.
Oh, he didn't really get to jump on triple like he thought he wanted to. I thought he did.
It looked like he accelerated and slowed down a tad bit, so that really didn't help him.
Oh, Tweaking got a horrible run into turn 1. It just got on board with that.
They'll go down into turn 4. They'll make a move. They're wheel to wheel. Tweaking off the track. Gerbil's looking for the move around the outside of 5 into 6. He'll go down the inside. The Aston Martin and the Ferrari. The leaders wheel to wheel. Off the track. Marginally goes the Aston Martin around the outside. What a move. Off Bob Gerbil on Tweaking. Will that entice Zach the Beast? No, it won't. But Tweaking will look back down into turn 13. He doesn't have DRS this time. He'll stay behind the Aston Martin.
He had company by Roscoe and Ferrari and Heatwave there.
Look at this. These three are almost looking at it. Almost. They were too wide down that way. Tweaking's being. Zach makes the move on Twitter. Oh, no!
Roscoe.
And both fatalities collected out of the race. Roscoe. Contact with him, his teammate, and CSR Ferrari, and another safety car.
I think that's going to be a Georgia part. That was hard racing to the safety car restart. That was unnecessary. I'm sorry.
Wow. So, safety car out again. Now, what do you do if you're some of these drivers? Do you stay out on these mediums? Or do you try to capitalize and go onto the soft compound tire like maybe Heatwave or Ryan Hurricane is? Well, Gerbil does not. Zach the Beast will stay out.
I don't think he has any wing. I think he has wing damage.
Oh, yeah, he does, 100%. Tweaking goes into the box.
Is also in.
He is. Same with Heatwave. Sweller comes in this time. Ryan Hurricane stays out. Same with Gregory Oregano and Toneless Death. His teammate Mozzie as well in the Alfa Romeo. So now, the top 5 look a little bit different.
Sweller is just putting on new mediums.
Which could work. To the end of the race, 14 laps. He may not want to risk that on the softs.
Sweller jumped Tweaking in the pits.
He has.
Was that what? Oh, I wonder if Tweaking had wing damage.
He may have had wing damage between Gerbil and Tweaking. Those two were side by side through a very, very narrow section of the circuit. And, well, didn't look out to go too well for the Ferrari.
Also, there is another race curb on the circuit.
There's 2 curbs?
Yep.
Interesting. So it's a racing circuit. There's only 2?
Yeah, like there's 2 raised up curves.
Turn 1 and 2.
But yeah, no, there's I think the exit of 12.
Well, this one is a raised up curb. There's a couple. There's quite a few.
Who are you on
I
board
would
with?
hope there was some. The safety car.
How are you on board with the safety car? Do you have cameras that I don't have?
Of course. That's what makes me better than you.
This is bullshit.
Well, a lot of action has happened. We had 2 safety cars in the span of about roughly 5 or so laps. We lost Roscoe and Wraith from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and now there's only 10 runners. All will grab points. We should theoretically go in this time, but we will not. We'll stay out another lap.
You know, I was going to ask you a question, and I completely forgot what it was.
Well, you know. Try again.
This is how my brain works.
Okay. We'll give you your patience. Once you know the question, come back to me.
Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. We're probably going to be in a tier 1 stream. I'm probably going to be laying in bed, and it's just going to be like, oh, guys, catch a question.
Yeah, I can't help you there.
Yep.
Your window is now.
I can't remember. Oh, Conway, what is the gas price right there? Because here it is just like absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I think it's around 3.9.
Did you say 320?
What?
What?
Okay, anyways.
No, the only reason I ask is because gas where I live is, what I saw it the other day, was $4.09 for a gallon.
Yeah, mine is around that. It's around 3.995.
Yeah, what stinks for me is I drive, I told you, like, the vehicle that I drive. I filled up on Thursday morning, and I
I guess
spent...
you're out of gas.
No, I'm not out of gas. I usually, when I fill up, I try to leave it just above a quarter tank or just between a quarter and half a tank. Well, this time I slipped, and I spent almost $85 to fill up my tank.
You see, I run into it's empty.
Yeah, well, see, you and I are two totally different people.
Well, I also don't drive.
Wait a minute, why
a
is
gas
safety car not
guzzling
in this lap?
machine. It may be giving. There you go. There's your answer.
Well, usually it does
See,
it once it
patience
does
is a virtue.
stuck to 2 split, and that's not stuck to 2 split.
Well, maybe it was a little bit procrastinating on the subject. Maybe they want to just. Burt Mylander just wants to win the race. I mean, there's still a lot of time to do so. But from one Aston Martin. No, not again. From one Aston Martin to the other, Botch Gerbil now leads and will determine where he wants to go back racing. We'll see when he goes. He goes now and gets a decent jump on Zach the Beast, but once again, not as big of a jump as he really wanted to. They both let Mossy in the dust. We're racing again in Saudi Arabia.
Wait, Mossy, where'd he come from?
He stayed out.
Oh, heat wave. Oh, he's gonna look for him on tweaking. He is. The outside of turn 3 going into turn 4. Tweaking's gonna back out of it. He thought about it from last time. 37 flashbacks.
Incredible move. He's got 2 and about 4 corners for Heatwave. Tweaking has a time penalty, and Ryan Hurricane is basically pushing.
Sweller's gonna get a horrible run.
Telling the stat through. Sweller's team gets overtaken by Heatwave. That's now 3. Heatwave's about to go for Groggy, about 4. He's gone absolutely incredibly strong on this opening sector.
Oh, for the move on the inside. Now the outside, they're gonna go wheel to wheel. Groggy's gonna have top speed. No, he is not.
Wow. The first lap after the safety car restart for Heatwave's been absolutely incredible. 4 drivers in about 2 sectors. He will look for Toneless. Absolutely utilizing the battery. Toneless Death has fallen off of Ryan Hurricane, about 1.3 seconds in front of him in 1 lap. Now Heatwave's gone up 5 positions in a lap. Tweaking and Swellerstein, they swap positions. Battle for 8th and 9th position. Zach the Beast and Gerbil. Gerbil now grabs the fastest lap of the Grand Prix again. All kicking off.
So the top... What is going down here? Groggy? Oh my goodness gracious. This is a 4-way fight for 7th right now. This is... Grab your popcorn.
It's an incredible fight. It's Tweaking, Groggy, CSR Ferrari, and Swellerstein, the championship leader right now, in absolutely the worst position he wants to be in. Well, behind all of these 4 drivers, or 3 drivers I should say, and only scoring 1 point, with Gerbil scoring 26 at the moment. But CSR Ferrari on Groggy and Oregano down in the turn 13 will go. No DRS this time. Will the Alpine look and hold on to the position of the Red Bull down the inside of 13? Going a little bit wide, the Alpine. They're still Whittle on the exit of 13. They're going to go for it in 14. A little bit of contact between the 2 cars. And look at that. CSR Ferrari now up to P8. Look at Ryan Hurricane. He's looking on the move. Swellerstein and Groggy, they swap positions. Swellerstein actually gets past Groggy and Oregano, but Ryan Hurricane has a little bit of pressure. Mozzie's now ahead of him, but Heatwave's behind him. Hurricane looks for the move to the right-hand side. Where does Heatwave go in this? Just going backwards. The 2 soft runners absolutely flying. Heatwave up to 4th. He's gotten 6 cars in about 2 laps, about 3 now, but Heatwave's not going to be pressurizing Ryan Hurricane. 2.5-second gap between him and his teammate Zach the Beast in front of him. Heatwave now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
Look at the battery difference between 1st and 2nd.
Can you elaborate?
I think they're running just about... hang on. Oh, okay, they're about a 10% difference.
Not too bad.
And then you got Ryan with 75% better.
Well, right now,
But
for these
Thomas
two
is
on the soft
100%
compound
battery.
tire. Wow. That is pretty impressive. He has a lot of battery to deploy and kind of utilize how he wishes to. He's in a battle right now with I Am Tweaking his teammate ahead of him. 7/10 the gap. But CSR Ferrari's closing in behind him on those 4 lap-old fresher tires. But Heatwave and Hurricane, they have a kind of a dilemma going on. Do they push and get back up? Well, obviously they're going to say yes. Well, let's save another 3-second time penalty. That now to 6 seconds for the Alfa Romeo. But these two, do they push to get back up into the DRS train between Zach the Beast and Bosch Scherble? And while doing so, they're going to be completely destroying their tires, which they don't know if they're going to make it to the end or not. That's going to be a question mark for these two.
Right. So I think Heatwave is definitely going to be able to make it to the end. It's going to be a stretch, but he's definitely going to make it to the end. Ryan Hurricane, he might be able to, but that's also going to be a stretch. There's some Ferrari going at it.
They both will grab DRS. It'll be a drag race. Who gets the slipstream? It's going to be Toneless on his teammate Tweaking. Now it's going to go to the reversal. CSR Ferrari over Toneless. They're still going to be wheel to wheel. Kind of boxed in the Ferrari. Well, CSR Ferrari. There's 3 Ferraris technically. It's all kicking off. I'm having a little bit of a hard time doing this, aren't I? Tweaking. CSR Ferrari now to 7th. Toneless Death to 8th.
You were doing fine.
Thank you.
Actually, Heatwave, we missed it. Heatwave got around.
Yes, he has.
Hurricane.
He got past Ryan Hurricane. Down in the turn 1.
Oh, there goes the Williams 2-3 podium. Something we never see. Actually, I don't think
he's
we've
kind of keeping
seen.
with Bosch Scherble here.
I don't think we've seen the Williams on the podium. It's only been knowledge. It's only been Wraith, Sweller, and Scherble. And then here,
There's been a lot more podium sitters than just 3.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
And
that's like
Roscoe,
the regular.
and
Yeah, Roscoe,
Heatwave.
Mozzie was there too.
Ozzy, yeah.
I'm just saying,
Come
like
on,
the regulars though, it's like they're not there.
I do agree. Bosch Scherble is kind of one of the only regular quote-unquote podium sitters we have in the top 3 in the championship. He's the highest one. The other 2 are lower than 9th or below, right out of the race. And Sweller's team in 9th, kind of struggling a bit. Zach the Beast now with the DRS and the ERS. Once again, the Williams closing in on Bosch Scherble and the Aston Martin. He may go for this move. He will go for the move down in the turn 1. Zach the Beast to the lead in tier 2. And Ryan Hurricane, his teammate, overtakes Heatwave.
Tweaking's on the back of Ozzy. So Tweaking's actually pulled away from CSR Ferrari, who's pulled away from Thomas Death. Who's pulled away from Sweller, they're pulling away from Groggy.
So how does this play out? We've seen so far this weekend that 2 drivers kind of what Ryan Hurricane and Heatwave and Bosch Scherble and Zach the Beast are doing. With these 2 drivers, if they find themselves tandeming and kind of in a 2-car train, so to speak,
Ooh,
they can swap. They can have one driver. They can have one driver use the DRS this time, and if they have the run, the speed, overtake them, and then they would do the opposite. The following DRS straight, that would gain them speed, gain them DRS. Do we see that here? Bosch Scherble's fallen back a ton from Zach the Beast as of late. Now 7/10, kind of the gap, now 6.5.
Yeah, and Hurricane's slowly gaining on these guys. I don't know if it's something else other than that.
Ryan Hurricane is now about, 5/10 or so? He's gained on the top 2, but he has Heatwave to contend behind him. Tweaking and Mozzie, they battle for the 5th position. Tweaking grabs the upper hand, but does Scherble and Zach the Beast swap around? A lap ago, it was the other way. This time it will be this way, unless Bosch Scherble will think a little bit smart here. No, he has the overspeed. He'll go to the left-hand side. He'll go down the inside. Kind of what Zach the Beast did a lap ago. Heatwave did the same thing. Both Williams were overtaking the car they were battling a lap ago. Now they're being the one overtaken. And Mozzie overtakes Tweaking. Turn 1 this time. Oh!
Actually, yes,
Saves it, a little bit of half spin, a little bit of damage possibly from both Ferrari-powered cars, the Ferrari of Tweaking and the Alfa Romeo of Mozzie, but CSR Ferrari now grabs a position, and he's definitely thankful for that. He can say thank you for that indeed. And by the way, Heatwave's in DRS, Zach the Beast is out of it. So these 4 are now in a DRS strain. Sweller, Steven, Toneless Death, those 2 battling for position. The Alfa Romeo gets past the Ferrari down into turn 13. And Zach the Beast, a 3-second time penalty. That is crucial to this race because that will be applied to the end of his race time. The rest do not have penalties in the top 4. So, lap 18 of 25, 17 laps completed, 8 laps to go. Zach the Beast is out of the DRS range. Botch Turbo in front of him. He's blinking. The ERS harvesting. He's under 20% of the battery in the back of his Williams car. Look at Heatwave. He'll look for the move around the outside of turn 27. Zach lets him through. Zach the Beast is not going to be the third on the podium, but marginally his teammate behind him almost in the barriers. But two Williams going to better run. It's going to be to Ryan Hurricane. The left-hand side almost in the barriers. The two Williams fight down the main straightaway. Heatwave's got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and Zach goes from second to fourth in a span of a straightaway. Actually, more specifically, two. CSR Ferrari and Tweaking, they battle it out. Telling the Staff in the pit lane, they're still wheel to wheel. The Ferrari and the Red Bull almost contact, almost losing the car. Tweaking the Ferrari going down now to turn 4. Tweaking will stay ahead of CSR Ferrari in the Ferrari. And now CSR Ferrari has 3 seconds of time penalties. Oh, God.
What did I miss?
Well, I'm having a commentating a battle between a Ferrari and CSR Ferrari.
No, I'm talking about top 3, top 4. Zach's in 4th now.
Where did you go?
I had to send a text message.
How dare you
I'm
text
sorry.
and do your job?
I'm sorry, you can fire me later. We only got 2 races left. Ryan's gonna get a time penalty.
Ryan Hurricane, a 3-second time penalty. That will now put him even with his teammate, who, by the way, Ryan Hurricane doesn't even have DRS as well. And now 2 Williams have time penalties. Tweaking of CSR Ferrari have time penalties. As well as team has time penalties. The top 2 now in a straight-up fight. This could be very well a race to lose for Heatwave. He has the soft compounded tire. Now, can it make it to the end? And how much tire will be there? He has 3 laps fresher softs compared to Josh Sherbill, who has 10-lap-old mediums. But now he's in the DRS range. Zach the Beast overtakes his William teammate. And now they swap around. Zach the Beast almost loses the car. But look, we look to the lead. Heatwave as the 2 Williams battle in the background. Is he close enough? Is he close enough? He's blinking. The Aston Martin looking down the inside of 1. He does go for the move. The AlphaTauri, the Aston Martin, they make a little bit of contact. They're going to be wheel to wheel into 2. Into 3. Botch Sherbill stays ahead of Heatwave. Heatwave kind of weaving a little bit in disgust of what happened. He wishes he got that move done. He couldn't. Now Zach the Beast and Ryan Hurricane. They're going to be battling once again. Ryan Hurricane gets past his teammate, in which it was the other way around, out of the turn 27.
Yeah, I think Heatwave was just leaving there to say to Gerbil, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make contact.
The 2 Williams will go at it again. Down in the turn 13, they'll swap around. Zach the Beast now be the lead Williams like he was going down into the main straightaway. They'll swap again. But how does this affect Heatwave and Gerbil? 1.4 seconds, the gap between Heatwave and Zach the Beast. Well, they think about swapping, or we'll be all out. What's wrong with Groggy?
Oh, he hits the wall. Almost hits the wall again. Come on.
Thomas Death pitted, and he'll have the fresh soft compounded tires, and he may go for fastest lap while he's at it. He will grab that fastest lap point as he is in the top 10. But Heatwave and Gerbil, they'll go at it. Do they think about possibly staying behind, playing a little bit of chess at 200 miles an hour? No, they do not. Heatwave goes to the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and here comes Zach the Beast on Ryan Hurricane. They swap around. Ryan Hurricane, I should rather say, on Zach the Beast. But Botch Sherbill will now have the DRS again. Heatwave, CSR Ferrari, and I am tweaking. They're battling. Botch Sherbill swaps around. Heatwave now to the point in second position. Ryan Hurricane to Zach the Beast. Do they swap around? The Williams battling down in the turn 1. Yes, they do. They swap around this time. Tweaking and CSR Ferrari, they'll swap around again. Everyone's swapping.
You know, to be honest
partner
with
in
you,
dance.
I think that last section zone should just be 1 section. Not 2.
I do agree.
Because it's a little bit overpowered. Because if you get a horrible run out of the final corner and you're the car behind, and you get a better run, you can instantly get that position back. So, it should be like Mexico.
Yeah.
1 detection zone for down into turn 1 and turn 4.
It just encourages 2-car breakaways.
Yes.
So basically, the secret to the circuit is find a partner and dance. And that's basically what's happening. TTM Heatwave and Botch Sherbill, Zach the Beast and Ryan Hurricane. But Ryan Hurricane's out of the DRS range of Zach the Beast. That's crucial in their battle. Ryan Hurricane now has a 3-second time penalty on top of that. So let's go look at the time penalties themselves. 3 to Zach the Beast, 6 to Hurricane and Tweaking, 3 to Ferrari, and 6 seconds to Tweaking. The rest do not have time penalties at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix so far. We have about 5 laps to go, coming to 4 this time.
You know, I was going to say something else, and then I just completely forgot about it, so.
There they go. They'll swap around again.
Oh,
This time it won't be so easy. Defending this time at a 27, and Gerbil Maybe the sitting duck down the main straightaway again. Heatwave's going to have the DRS a second time, the second bite of the cherry. Down the main straightaway they go. 4 laps to go, and Heatwave will grab the point again. And maybe who gets the DRS down the main straightaway in the last lap, but Gerbil's not going to let it go. He's going to stay there in turn 2. He grabs a time penalty. A 3-second for the Aston Martin. They're still going to be wheel to wheel, and that's going to be Heatwave behind Gerbil once again. He may have hold the possession, but now he has a time penalty. That's not going to help him out. Wow. Everyone in the top 4, actually correction, top 6 have time penalties except for TTM Heatwave. This is his race to lose now. Just keep it on the track and his tires, they can stay to the end. This could very well be his first race to win in the Tier 2 Championship. He's tried so hard over the course of the season. He's come so close numerous times. Just never been able to get that illustrious win. It's kind of kept escaping his grasp. Is he close enough this time?
Does that just keep back into this fight?
Yes, he has.
From
and so has his teammate Ryan Hurricane.
And a half back. He's back in this.
He is a little low on battery, though. Blinking in the Williams.
He doesn't have the arrest.
The Heatwave does. Will he go for it down in the turn 27 this time? Gerbil goes defensive again. Squeezes the AlphaTauri a little bit to the right-hand side. Heatwave's going to go and get the better exit. He'll try for it. He's going to have the DRS and the ERS this time again. The slipstream. Kind of the second bite of the cherry, like I said the last time around. CSR Ferrari and Tweaking, they swap around. Heatwave and Bosch Gerbil, they'll swap around. Well, the 2 Williams cars, will they swap around this time? They will not. They looked for it, though. Ryan Hurricane on Zach the Beast just wasn't meant to be. And Heatwave, I'm sorry, not Heatwave, Tweaking and Ferrari, they'll swap around again.
Yeah, definitely not the race Alfa Romeo definitely would have wanted. So they're bringing home good points, but not the race they would have wanted for tonight. Whoa, who just hit the wall? I thought I just saw that. No, that was Ryan hit the wall.
That may be damage to the Williams.
Also,
that may be him out of contention.
Cars.
There is no more safety cars. Lap 23 of 25. There is 3 laps to go. No safety car will be deployed. This will be the end of the race. So now, who will it be? The AlphaTauri, the Aston Martin, the Williams. Still a lot to play for. There's still a lot of time to go. We've seen these 2 swap around. We've seen these 2 come close. We've seen these 2 collide a bit. Could that possibly affect the race? Will we see a penalty for Heatwave? Will we see a little bit of contact? There's still a lot of opportunities for something to happen in the next 2 laps coming to line this time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix of the Tier 2 Championship. Gerbil will try again. Heatwave this time will go to the left-hand side, and Gerbil will go across and into the lead again, but he will have the DRS not to his favor. Kind of like the last 3 laps this been. Heatwave's going to have the DRS again. CSR Ferrari passes Tweaking down into turn 27. But the Aston Martin this time, blinking significantly slower. And Heatwave now goes to the point. He's not going to give it up, though, again, like he was a lap ago. Gerbil stays there. They're going to be wheel-to-wheel in the exit of 2. They're still going to be side-by-side like it was a lap ago. Mozzie pits from 7th position, and Gerbil stays ahead of Heatwave. Zach the Beast now. He's going to be closing in a little bit. Well, now, a lap and 2 sectors to go. Who wins this race? Where would you want to be right now? Would you want to be ahead in the turn 27, or would you want to be behind in the turn 27? We've seen At the Line and the Realistic Performance Championship, their Grand Prix at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was almost a photo finish. Would you want to be in that position, or would you want to lead going down the main straightaway?
Well, if I'm Heatwave, I'd want to just stick behind Gerbil.
Very true, because he is not, remember, he doesn't have that time penalty. This does not even technically affect his race. He's basically just guaranteed the win unless something happens in about the next 26, 28 corners or so. He goes down into turn 27 this time. Zach the Beast is not too far behind. He's on the podium right now. Almost loses the car going the exit of turn 27. Heatwave now will have the DRS again, but Zach the Beast is actually in the DRS zone of him. Who makes it down to the turn 1? Who makes it to the line a lap from now? Heatwave down the inside of Bosch Gerbil into turn 1 again. Let me wheel to wheel. Zach the Beast looking there, trying to look past Heatwave, remember, he has a time penalty, but Botch Gerbil does as well. So if he can get past Botch Gerbil, he'll jump Botch Gerbil in the finishing orders. But Botch Gerbil still leads.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, you know, final lap. Heatwave's probably just going to try to sit where he is. Zach DeBeast is probably pushing, trying to get ahead of Gerbil, but he's got to get through Heatwave first.
Yes, he does.
You just see Gerbil. Ooh, there goes Zach and Heatwave trading positions.
Ryan Hurricane's falling back. But now these two, Zach DeBeast is ahead of Heatwave. That was a little bit more smart rather than, well, I want to finish second on track because he knows there's nothing to lose. But there's everything to lose in the coming races. Botch Gerbil has done what he needed to do. He does not lose any points to Swellerstein. Swellerstein will grab 7th position as it stands right now with a comfortable gap between him and his teammate Mozzie and him to CSR Ferrari. Botch Gerbil, around the final corner he goes. He'll win on track of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, but the win won't be his. It has been happening 4 times, 4 second places. He finally gets one higher. Heatwave will win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It doesn't appear like it, but we will change that order. Heatwave, without a penalty, will finally get it done. Here in Saudi Arabia, he'll finally win in Tier 2. Zach DeBeast will grab 3rd position, his first race, his first podium. He's now back in the Eco Performance, and it's ready for him to finish the next 2. Cesar Ferrari will grab 5th with Tweaking in 6th. His teammate, down in the 9th position. Swellerstein will grab 6th. Mozzie grabs the fastest lap, which is crucial. Now, what is the points? It's down to this: 12 points for Red Bull. For Alfa Romeo, there is 8, and Mozzie has 6, plus the fastest lap. Alfa Romeo are your champions, constructors of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship. It's happened tonight, and they made it done. They made it happen. They were dominant. They were consistent. They did what they needed to do the entire season, and they've come home. The Constructors Championship. It was so close to happening a season ago. They got it. Finally for Alfa Romeo. Well, it may appear it, but this is not your podium. Zach DeBeast will grab a podium. He'll grab 3rd. Botch Gerbil in 2nd. Heatwave was scored in 1st. As he did not have a time penalty, he'll have a great moment here tonight. But the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix has come to an end in the Tier 2 Championship. That means there's only 2 more opportunities. 3 drivers, 2 rounds. It all will happen and kick off again a week from now. But this week, this race, it concludes. TTM Heatwave will win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. He did not have any penalties. He'll finally get the win. He got 4 second places, 2/3. He finally goes to the top 7 of the podium. Botch Gerbil will grab 2nd. He did what he needed to do. He grabbed 18 points to Swellerstein's 6. So I believe, actually, wait a minute. I don't know. Zach DeBeast in 3rd position. Ryan Hurricane 4th. Cesar Ferrari in 5th. Tweaking 6th. Swellerstein, Mozzie, until his death, Groggy Oregano. And we lost Roscoe and BRL Wraith from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And that was a great one indeed.
Yeah, definitely. It actually provided payment. You said it was going to be dead. Yeah, I mean, it had its moments. So.
Now I'm going to do some fact checking to make sure if they are indeed the Constructors Championship, the Constructors Champions, I should rather say. But now, once everyone's in, we'll kick it off with Redeemer with our podium sitters.
Gerbil. to invite him again.
Get off with Zach.
Oh my god, my mic was muted. I was sitting there talking to a brick wall.
Yeah. Good job, Zach.
Good.
Before we do anything, you guys make sure your audio is included. We're going to start off with Zach while we wait for Turbo. Zach, your first race in Tier 2, I believe starting in P3. P4.
It was P4. Wait, no. P3. P3.
Either way, really good qualifying from you on your first race. And then grabbing P3, the final lap and the penalties, just the penalty really didn't help your race. Walk us through your race and congratulations on the podium.
Well, thank you. And qualifying, I think qualifying is a little underwhelming, but I knew that the race was my strong suit, and I was quite excited for that, considering I was P3. My main objective was get a decent start and stay where I was, in which I did, and at the point on, it was just stay consistent in damage limitation. We saw it with tweaking and Wraith. Just if you get caught napping a little bit, you can hit the wall easily, but I'm hoping you caught the warning I got to come off the tube because I was understeering through there. I basically slammed on the brakes and it gave me a penalty and 2 warnings, but I didn't clip it. But I have race directors, so I'm hoping that. But anyway, I think I had the pace to be up with those guys there. I'm really proud of that. My main goal was P5 anyway, so I've definitely exceeded my expectations already, and I just want to give a good shout out to everybody around me, Tweaking, Wraith, Gerbil, and all those guys, because they, Hurricane as well, my teammate, they're very clean, and I had a very fun time enjoying the battles.
And most definitely, it was definitely nail-biting there for a few laps. Watching the back of the pack go 5 abreast through one of the corners, definitely interesting. We go to Abu Dhabi next week. Any thoughts? Is that a strong suit for you, or is that just a track you're not really hoping for?
The next 2 tracks, actually, and Abu Dhabi, they're really good for me, so I'm really hoping to keep up this form because I did this in Tier 5 2 seasons ago, went on a streak of P3s and finally got that desired win, so I'm hoping to keep that form.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and see what comes next week. Catcher, do you have anything to ask?
No, I do not, and Botcherable actually cannot join tonight. So,
okay.
There's that.
Well, I don't have any more questions for Zach, so I'm going to send it over to you with P1 TTM Heatwave.
Then indeed, the Aston Martin Botcherable could not make it here tonight, so congratulations to him on his podium finish. Congratulations to Zach the Beast on his podium finish. But now, we go to P1. Finally! How many times has it taken you? How many times do you felt you were robbed? Those 4 second places, the 2 podiums on top of that in third. Now you finally go one higher. Heatwave, finally. What happened on your end?
I don't know what to say. It's Jesus. So many times where I battled, and finally I had the pace. In quali, I gambled on the mediums. I thought it would work, but then the safety car came out from that incident with Ferrari. I thought my race was over when that happens, because I got damaged, plus I needed to pit. But, yeah. Actually, no, that was the second one. The first one, yeah, I thought my strat was over, but, yeah, anyways. I ended up pushing hard, got some moves done, and then I just needed to stick it out and stay behind Gerbil until the end of the race, so it wasn't easy throughout the season, but I finally got it, so I'm happy.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Well, now, you finally have that win under your belt. And that's going to be something that will always kind of treasure with you this season. But now you still have 2 races to go. You have Abu Dhabi, you have Emilia-Romagna, and Imola. How do you think these next 2 races will go for you? Obviously, you're not in the championship fight, but there's still a lot to play for you. Do you think you have a shot to do something the next 2 races?
Yeah, obviously, I'm gonna try to keep up my pace, but around Abu Dhabi, I can't find the pace, so I might struggle there. At Imola, it's one of my favorite tracks, so I'm gonna try to push for a win, make it to the season.
We'll have to see how that plays out for you in the next 2 races. Indeed, so congratulations on your win, finally, of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. But now, that wraps it up for myself, Haycatcher, and LDR Redeemer here at the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix for round 22 of the Tier 2 Championship. But don't go anywhere. In about 30 minutes' time, we have Tier 1 as they take on the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and they could very well have the constructors and the drivers locked as well. We'll take a look on that. You get to see Chandler, you get to see Hoopalicious, and you get to see Bailey. Find it out who gets champion. We'll find out indeed. But for clarification, Alfa Romeo once again are your constructors champions for Season 7 of the Breakout Racing League Tier 2 Championship. They got redemption from a year ago, so now they are taking that home for the Alfa Romeo team. So congratulations to Sweller's team and Tamazi on their Constructors Championship. But it's going to get kicking off a little bit more in the next 2 rounds. Sweller's team, Bosch Gerbil, Wraith, all separated within 40 points with 2 rounds to go. Don't miss the next 2 races. It's going to be insane. But, like I said, tune in to Tier 1 not 2 minutes. Tier 1 not too long from now. I'm having a little bit of a problem here. But on Wednesday, we have F2 as they take on the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. On Thursday, we have Realistic. On Friday at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Tier 3s and Tier 4s race at the at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And then same place, same time next week. On Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you have the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for the Tier 2 Championship. We cannot wait for round 23. We cannot wait to see who is the champion of this incredible season. We'll find out in the next 2 weeks' time. But once again, myself, Haycatcher, LDR Redeemer, Heatwave, Gerbil, Zach the Beast. By the way, congratulations on Ryan Hurricane for Driver of the Day. I don't think we ever mentioned that, so good job. And, well, that will do it from us for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.